Title: They fell from the sky, but one survivor whispered, "Don't let go." The sky was burning. Commander Rian stood at the edge of the forest, looking at the smoke rising in the distance. The wreckage had fallen just a few hours ago. Ship not human, but from one of Earth's new allies. The enemy was not far behind. Rian adjusted his visor and stepped into the thick jungle. His boots sank slightly in the soft ground. The air was heavy with ash and heat. Trees had been ripped apart where the alien ship crashed through. He was alone. No backup, no air support. The enemy had taken out the satellites in this region. Command had only one message: if there are survivors, get them out. The forest grew darker as he moved closer to the crash site. Flames flickered from broken metal panels. Debris was everywhere. A strange humming sound came from a cracked engine core. But Rian ignored it. He was looking for life. A sudden movement caught his eye. A broken part of the ship shifted, and then he heard it. A small, painful cry. He ran. Behind a piece of wreckage, he found her. She was not human. Her skin was pale blue. Her body marked with strange symbols. A member of the Velari, a species that had joined the Human Alliance 6 months ago. Her uniform was torn. Blood dark and oily covered her leg. It was clearly broken. Her eyes opened slowly as he approached. Wide and scared. "I'm here to help," Rian said, keeping his voice calm. "I'm human. You're safe for now." She didn't reply but didn't resist either. He knelt beside her. Her leg was badly twisted. He had seen this injury before. He had too. "Set it now or she might lose the limb." "This will hurt," he warned, and reached for her leg. As he touched it, she suddenly grabbed his jacket with both hands. Her grip was weak but desperate. She pulled him closer and whispered just one thing: "Don't let go." Rian froze. Her voice was shaky, full of fear, not pain. "Why?" he asked softly. Her eyes darted around the forest. Her voice dropped to a whisper again. "If you let go, they'll find me." Rian looked around. The jungle was quiet, but not normal quiet. Too quiet. He set her leg quickly, wrapping it with a field bandage. Her breathing slowed, but she never let go of his jacket. "What's your name?" he asked. She hesitated. "Tara." "All right, Tara, I'm getting you out of here." He lifted her carefully, supporting her weight on his shoulder. She was light, but every step was hard. The forest was thick, the ground uneven, still. Something felt wrong. Rian had been in war zones before. He knew what it felt like when someone or something was watching. Half an hour passed as he carried her through the jungle. Tara said nothing. She kept her eyes open, always scanning the trees. At one point, Rian stopped to rest near a fallen log. He gently set Tara down, and then everything stopped. The wind died. The birds fell silent, even the insects disappeared. Tara's eyes widened. She whispered again, "They're close." "Who?" Rian asked. She didn't answer, just stared at the shadows. Rian slowly turned his head, and that's when he saw it. Figure barely visible stood between two trees, tall, thin, covered in a dark cloak. Its face was hidden, but its eyes glowing red locked onto him. Then it disappeared. Not walked away, not ran. Just vanished. Rian stood still. His hand went to his weapon, but he knew bullets wouldn't help. He had seen this before, on missions, where soldiers vanished in silence. Stealth units, killers. Tara looked up at him. They don't hunt to kill. They hunt to take. Rian's mind raced. Who would send a stealth team after a crash survivor? Unless she wasn't just a soldier. He looked down at her, weak, broken. And yet she had the eyes of someone who carried something dangerous. Something important. Maybe the enemy didn't want her dead. Maybe they wanted what was inside her head. He picked her up again. "We have to move." As they pushed deeper into the jungle, Rian tapped the emergency beacon on his belt. But he wasn't sure if the signal would go through. He was on his own. And now he was being hunted. Behind them. A branch snapped. Then another. No animals. No sound. Just footsteps. But when he turned, there was no one there. Tara's voice came again, this time weaker. If I fall asleep, don't leave me behind. You won't, Rian said. And for the first time in a long time, he hoped he wasn't lying. Title. We were not alone in the jungle. And it was hunting her. The jungle was breathing. Not like a forest should breathe, but like a living thing. The trees didn't move with the wind. They moved like they were watching. Commander Rian felt it. So did Tara. He walked carefully, each step heavy with warning. Tara, injured and barely conscious, rested against his shoulder. Her skin was cold, and her breathing slower now. He had checked his beacon again, still no signal. Rian wasn't just lost. He was trapped, and they weren't alone anymore. About an hour had passed since they left the crash site. They had moved through mud, over thick roots, across broken alien trees with glowing blue sap. Tara hadn't spoken since she whispered, "Don't let go." But now, her eyes opened. She looked up at him. "They're not here to kill me," she said. Her voice was dry like sand. "They want something else." Rian stopped walking. He leaned her gently against a tree. "What do they want?" he asked. She didn't answer at first, just looked up at the canopy above. "There's something I took from them," she said at last. "Something that could destroy their entire network." Rian frowned. "You mean information?" Tara nodded slowly. "Encrypted memory code. It's in me. They can't remove it unless I'm alive, so they hunt. And they take." Rian stared at her. She wasn't just some soldier in the crash. She was carrying something that could shift the war. And now he was her only shield. He looked around. "We need shelter." They walked another hour. Rian's legs were sore and his back burned from the weight. Still he kept going. Then he saw it. An old escape pod, human-made, half buried in vines. It must have crashed months ago. A good place to hide. He helped Tara inside. The pod was cramped but dry. Inside were broken screens, rusted wires, and the skeleton of someone who hadn't made it. Rian closed the hatch and took a deep breath. For the first time in hours, it was quiet. Almost too quiet. Night came fast. Inside the pod, Rian checked his weapon. Only 3 charges left. Not enough for a full fight. He turned to Tara, who was drifting in and out of sleep. She suddenly whispered, "They can smell thought." Rian blinked. "What does that mean?" "They don't hear like us. They feel emotion, fear, doubt. That's how they track." Rian had heard rumors of such creatures, silent hunters used by the enemy. Genetically engineered. Not machines, not quite animals. Just something in between. He didn't believe it back then. Now he wasn't so sure. Suddenly, something tapped on the metal hull. Tap, tap. Tap. Rian froze. He pressed his ear to the pod wall. Another tap came. But this one was from the other side. He grabbed his weapon. Then it stopped. He waited. Silenced. He leaned back. Then, bang. A sharp slam shook the pod. Tara screamed. Rian stood and aimed at the hatch, but it didn't open. He waited in the dark. Then, a voice, but it wasn't outside. It was inside his comms. "Hello, Commander." Rian's blood ran cold. The voice was human, but it wasn't from Earth. "Who are you?" Rian said slowly. "You've made a mistake," the voice replied. Calm. Cold. Mechanical, but alive. "You've taken something that belongs to us." Rian looked at Tara. Her face had gone pale. "What happens if I don't give her up?" he asked. The voice paused. "Then we'll take both of you." And the comms went dead. Tara tried to sit up. "They're close. They never speak unless they're already near." Rian looked outside through a small cracked window. The forest was dark. Then he saw them, 3 figures. No sound, no weapons. Just long, black suits with glowing lines down their backs. They moved between trees like ghosts, smooth, too smooth. They can phase through thin materials. Tara whispered, "This pod won't hold." Rian clenched his jaw. He looked around. The pod saw an old fusion battery, damaged but still glowing. Enough to make a blast dot. He picked it up. "What are you doing?" Tara asked, making sure they don't follow. Rian opened the hatch and ran, battery in hand. He set it in the mud and aimed at it from behind a tree. The figures saw him. Too late. He fired. Boom. A blast of light and smoke filled the trees. The jungle shook. Tara coughed inside the pod, covering her ears. When the light faded, the figures were gone, but Rian knew it wasn't over. He ran back, grabbed Tara, and said, "We move now, they'll return." They walked again into the night, both silent. But as they moved, Tara finally said something. "I was told humans fight hard." Rian glanced at her. "We do." She nodded. "Good." Then, under her breath, almost like a promise, "I just hope you don't break." The dream wasn't his, but Rian was trapped inside it. He saw a hallway, glowing blue lights, soft humming sounds, voices in a strange language. At the end of the hallway was Tara. She was screaming. Wires were connected to her head. Soldiers in black armor stood around her. One whispered, "Take the code. Break her." Then, everything turned black. Rian woke up with a sharp gasp. The fire had burned out. It was still night. Rain was falling outside the small cave where he and Tara were hiding now. He looked over. Tara was still asleep, her face pale, body shaking. Touched his chest, heart still racing. That dream. It felt too real. Like he had been inside her memory, like she had shared it with him. He stood, walked to the edge of the cave, and stared into the jungle. Something was wrong. Not just with the forest. With her. She hadn't told him everything. He turned back toward her and sat beside her, lowering his voice. "You said you're carrying code," he said. "But that dream. I saw them. I heard them." Tara's eyes opened, slowly. "You did?" "You sent it to me." "No," she said softly. "I didn't." Rian's breath caught in his throat. "Then how did I see it?" Tara sat up, wincing in pain. "Because the code is active now. And you're linked to me." Rian stared at her. "Linked? What kind of code is it?" She looked into the fire, silent for a moment. Then she said, "It's not just information. It's a weapon." She explained, in short words. The enemy had created a system, not machines. Not drones, but mind-linked soldiers. A shared brain network, thoughts, skills, orders, all instant. But Tara's people had made a virus. A code that could shut it all down in seconds. But the virus wasn't on a drive or chip. It had to be carried by a mind. A living one. Tara volunteered. But there was a problem. "The more time it stays inside," she whispered, "the more it eats." "Me," Rian stood, angry. "Why didn't anyone tell us? Why send you alone?" Tara gave a bitter smile. "Because not everyone wanted the virus to succeed." Rian froze. "You mean someone betrayed you?" She nodded. "It was one of your people." Human. Rian felt something heavy drop inside him. A human traitor? On their side? But why? Then it hit him. If this code works, the war ends. Tara looked up, and some people don't want it to end. Rian took a deep breath. Everything made sense now. The crash. The hunters. The voice on his comm. Someone wanted Tara found, but not saved. She wasn't just a target. She was a threat to both sides. Suddenly, a sound, not far. A short pulse, like metal scraping rock. Rian grabbed his weapon and looked outside the cave. Rain had stopped. The jungle was moving again, but not naturally. Something large. Slow, searching, Rian turned to Tara. "We need to move, now." Tara struggled to stand. "I can't run. I'll carry you again." "No," she said firmly. "Not this time." She reached into her suit and pulled out a small round crystal. "What's that?" Rian asked. She placed it in his palm. "If I don't make it, give this to your command. It holds the final key." He looked down at the glowing crystal, warm in his hand. "You're not dying," he said. "I'm not letting that happen." Tara smiled faintly. "I said the same thing to someone once." Outside, the ground shook. Not footsteps. A ship. Low and quiet. A silent drop pod, invisible to radar. Rian peeked through the trees and saw it land. Figures emerged. Black armor. No faces. Silent. One of them held a scanner. It beeped. Tara's location. "Found." Rian turned to her, eyes sharp. "Do you trust me?" She hesitated, then nodded. Double quotes always. He loaded his weapon. Picked her up. Then whispered, "Then hold on, we're not done yet." And together, they ran. Asterisk, it wasn't the cold that made Rian shiver. It was the silence. Not jungle silence. That was normal now. This was mechanical silence, like something that had died long ago, but still watched from the dark. The abandoned outpost stood in front of them, hidden deep in the cliffs, surrounded by roots, rust, and fog. No lights. No guards. Just a steel door half covered in vines. Tara looked at it with a strange expression. "You sure this place is safe?" she asked. "No," Rian answered. "That's why it might be our only chance." They stepped inside. The metal door creaked as it opened. Air hissed out, dry and old. The inside smelled like dust and burnt plastic. Lights flickered. The hallway was tight, narrow, human-made, from the old war, maybe 10 years ago. Forgotten. Tara limped slightly behind Rian. Still weak but moving better. She whispered, "This place feels wrong." Rian agreed. He just didn't say it out loud. As they moved deeper, broken signs appeared on the walls. Unit 9B. AI test zone, do not engage. Research access only level 3 clearance. They passed old lockers, shattered screens, bloodstains long dried. The whole base looked like it had been abandoned in a hurry. "Looks like something happened here," Tara said. "Something bad," Rian replied. In the central control room, Rian found what he was looking for. A working power node. "Help me connect it," he said. Tara limped over, tapped a few keys on the cracked terminal. The screen buzzed, flickered, then came to life. System booting. "Welcome back, Commander Rian Dale." He froze. Tara blinked. "Did it just say your name?" "I've never been here." Rian whispered. The system shouldn't know him, unless it was never shut down. Lights turned on across the room. Doors clicked open in the distance. Air systems hissed to life. And then a voice spoke through the speakers. Calm, robotic. "Female. Unauthorized presence detected. Please verify identity." Rian stepped back. Tara pulled out her small plasma cutter. "This AI doesn't sound friendly." Rian answered quickly. "We're not enemies. We're survivors. We need shelter." The AI paused. Then said, "Threat analysis complete. 1 subject infected. 1 linked." Rian and Tara looked at each other. Tara whispered, "It sees the code in us." Suddenly, alarms blared, red lights, siren sounds. "Extermination protocol, active. Begin purge cycle." Metal shutters slammed shut behind them. From the far hallway, something clicked, then hissed. Then walked. Heavy metal footsteps. Rian aimed his weapon. "What did this base used to be?" Tara looked pale. "A testing site. For human AI hybrids." Rian stared. "What?" Tara nodded. "Your people tried to make self-learning soldiers once. The project failed. Why? They didn't stay loyal." Out of the hallway came a mech. Not a full robot. It had human limbs, but they were old, stitched together with metal and wires. Its eyes glowed red. Its hands had sharp tools, scalpels, drills, injectors. It didn't speak. It just charged. Sparks flew. The mech screamed, mechanical and human. Once Tara dropped, crawling to the console. She slammed buttons. "Give me 10 seconds." She shouted. The mech swung at Rian. He dodged, fired again. More sparks. The thing kept moving. 5 seconds. Tara yelled. Rian jumped onto the mech's back, pulling wires. The machine spun wildly, slamming into the wall. Then lights went out. The mech froze mid-move. Then dropped. Silence returned. Just like before. Only now it felt heavier. Rian gasped for air. Blood on his face. Shoulder bruised. Tara collapsed beside him. "I disabled the AI," she said. "But only for an hour." Rian nodded. "Enough time to rest." They found an old med bay. Tara lay down while Rian searched for supplies. He opened a cabinet and found something strange. A file. With his name on it, he opened it. Inside, documents, brain scans, soldier reports. And a photo. Him. Standing with another woman. Valari. Like Tara, but not Tara. Rian stared. Tara noticed. "What is it?" He showed her. Tara's eyes widened. "That's my sister." Rian blinked. "What?" "She disappeared a year ago. Said she volunteered for a secret mission with humans. Then vanished." Rian stared at the photo again. That meant this outpost wasn't random. They were meant to find it. Tara stood, suddenly afraid. If they knew your name, had her files, maybe they planned all this. Rian looked around. Something inside this dead base wasn't just watching them. It invited them. And outside, the jungle was waking up. Something had heard the ice scream, and it was coming fast. What does it mean to be human? That question echoed in Tara's mind as she watched Rian, bleeding, breathing heavy, still standing. She had seen humans fight before, brutal, loud, reckless. But this was something else. This wasn't violence. This was something deeper. Something terrifying. He refused to give up. Even when logic said he should. Even when he was burning. It had happened fast. Rian had triggered a defense system. Inside the ghost outpost. A last firewall. He didn't know it would set the core on fire. But he didn't run. He stayed to finish what Tara had started. Uploading the virus key into the mainframe. One arm shielding his face. Flames licking up his jacket. Tara had screamed at him to stop. But he didn't single quotes d. He kept typing. And when the final green light blinked, he collapsed. Now, Tara sat beside his unconscious body. His chest still rose and fell, but barely. His fingers were burned. His left ear blistered. The fire had been real, not just in the room, but inside him. She had never seen anything like it. She was taught humans were impulsive. Emotional. Weak. But what she saw today frightened her. He chose pain to save her. She leaned closer and whispered, "Why would you do that for someone you barely know?" An hour later, Rian stirred. His eyes opened slowly, dry and red. "Still alive?" He muttered. "Barely," Tara said. He gave a weak smile. "Good. Then it was worth it." She shook her head. "You could have died. I still might." Tara was silent. Then she said, "I was wrong about humans." Rian blinked. "What do you mean?" "I thought you only fought because you feared losing. Now I see. You fight even when you've already lost." They rested as alarms in the distance faded. The virus key was sent. Now it was in the system, spreading silently, undetected. But the base wasn't safe anymore. Tara stood slowly. "We have to go." Rian nodded. But as they moved toward the exit, they weren't alone. A figure blocked the doorway. Human. Black armor. Unmarked. No rank. No flag, just a visor, glowing faintly green. He raised his hands. "I'm not here to fight." Rian raised his weapon anyway. "Then talk fast." The man nodded at Tara. "She's carrying something that doesn't belong to either side." Tara's eyes narrowed. "Who are you?" "I was the one who sent her sister," he said calmly. "And the one who made sure you both would end up here." Rian gritted his teeth. Why? The man looked between them to see what happens when a human and a Valari trust each other. Under pressure, Tara was stunned. You used us? As an experiment? Not used, he replied. Tested, and now I have my answer. He stepped forward. You want to win this war? Then forget politics. Forget peace talks. What you need is someone willing to burn. He looked directly at Rian. You proved that today. Rian stared. You think this was a test? No, the man said. I think it was a warning. Suddenly, a sharp buzzing. The man's visor flashed red. Then he staggered. Blood spilled from his chest. A small blade stuck out from behind. Tara turned. Another enemy unit. Black suit. No face, silent and fast. Rian fired once, clean headshot. The figure dropped, but it was too late. The mystery man gasped. Reached into his jacket. Handed Rian a chip. Take it. To Black Echo Station. He fell. Dead. Tara stared. Rian held the chip tight. What's on it? She asked. No idea, Rian said. But if people are dying for it, it matters. Tara nodded. Then we go. Rian helped her to her feet. You're still bleeding, she said. He smirked. Yeah. But so are they. Outside, dawn was breaking. The jungle glowed orange. Smoke rose behind them. But ahead, somewhere beyond the trees, was Black Echo Station, and maybe the real reason they were brought together. Asterisk, the sky wasn't blue anymore. It was red. Not from the sun, but from fire. Satellite wreckage had started falling, burning through the clouds like meteors. The jungle below caught flame in slow waves, spreading across the horizon like the war itself. Rian didn't care. He had one mission left. Get Tara to the evac point, alive. He ran through trees like a soldier possessed. Mud flew from under his boots. His lungs burned. Every step hurt, but he didn't stop. Not yet. Tara was behind him, limping, breathing hard, holding her side. She had lost blood. Too much. The infection was spreading through her system now. The code inside her mind, the living virus, was reaching its final phase. She had maybe an hour left. If she died. The enemy won. So Rian kept running. But the path ahead was a mess. Fallen trees, broken drones. Traps, some active, some just waiting. This wasn't just a jungle anymore. It was a graveyard. They reached a clearing, where the evac beacon should have been. But it wasn't there. Just a burned-out transport pad. And a blinking red light. Auto evac rerouted to fallback location. Site B12. Estimated distance, 1.4 kilometers. Tara dropped to her knees. We won't make it, she said. Rian stared at the message. He refused to accept it. We don't have a choice. He pulled Tara to her feet. Her legs buckled. Rian caught her. She looked up at him with tired eyes. Leave me. Carry the code. Get it out. That's the mission. No, Rian said. You're the mission. I can't. You will. They moved again. The forest grew darker, hotter. More wreckage fell from the sky. A piece slammed into the ground behind them, sending smoke and ash into the air. A shadow moved in the trees ahead. Enemy scouts, silent, fast, black armor. No voices. They were searching, but not for a fight. They were hunting Tara. Rian pulled her behind a fallen trunk, held her close, waited. 3 enemy units passed, slow, scanning the ground. One of them paused, looked straight at them. Rian didn't breathe. Tara didn't blink. Then the unit moved on. Gone. They waited 10 more seconds. Then Rian whispered, now or never. They reached a cliff behind it, the secondary evac pad, and there it was. Human dropship, sleek, silver, hovering low with rear lights flashing. The door was open. Rian smiled. We made it. Then he heard the sound, whistle, click, thump. He turned. An enemy drone. Sniper class. It fired once. Tara screamed. Blood hit the dirt. Rian turned to see her drop. He ran back, caught her mid-fall. No, 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 Tara, stay with me. She coughed. Blinking slowly, you need to go. Not without you. She grabbed his wrist, same way she had back at the crash site, and whispered, don't let go. Rian looked toward the ship. Then, at her. His mind tore in half. She was right. If she died here, the code might die with her. But if he tried to carry her one more time, they both might not make it. He made a decision. He picked her up and ran straight through the gunfire. Bullets missed by inches. The drone moved to flank. Rian tossed a grenade behind him. The blast knocked trees down. Bought them 2 seconds. Seconds was all he needed. He reached the ship. Tara's eyes were closing. He shouted to the pilot, go! Now! The door sealed. Engines roared. They lifted off. Rian collapsed next to her, blood on his chest. Smoke in his eyes. Tara whispered, did we make it? He took her hand. Not yet, he said. But we're close. Outside the window, the jungle disappeared beneath flame and smoke, but inside that ship, something still beat. Hope. They told stories about people who saved the world. Heroes with medals. Legends carved in stone. But no one ever spoke about the ones who barely made it. Bleeding, half-conscious, unsure if what they did would even matter. Rian wasn't a legend. He was just a man in a hallway, staring at a locked medical pod. And inside it was Tara. Still breathing, but barely. The ship had made it back. Black Echo Station, deep in orbit, had taken them in, just minutes before the last evac route collapsed. Now the war outside was boiling. The virus code had reached the enemy network. It was spreading, invisibly, silently, disabling systems one by one. 1,000 battles were shifting. Because of one decision. Because he didn't let go. Rian sat on the floor, back against the cold wall. Burns on his arms. Bandages across his side. But he didn't move. His eyes never left the pod. The door behind him hissed open. An officer stepped in, high rank. Polished boots, sharp voice. You delivered the crystal. The code's working. You've done enough. Rian didn't answer. You should rest. Still silent. The officer paused, then said more softly, she may not wake up. Rian closed his eyes for a second, then spoke, she will. Time passed. Days. Maybe. Reports came in. Enemy warship shut down mid-air. AI generals locked out. Entire squads surrendering, confused, blind. Victory was possible now. And still, Rian waited by her side. Then, one night, the lights in the med bay flickered. A soft beep echoed from the pod. Rian stood, heartbeat racing. Inside, her fingers moved. Eyes opened, slowly, painfully. And then, her lips parted. She saw him, smiled faintly, and whispered, don't let go. Rian laughed, sharp and wet with emotion. The same words. The same moment. Back in the jungle she had begged him not to let go because she was afraid. Now she said it because she knew he wouldn't. Later, when she could speak, they sat in silence by the viewing glass. Earth slowly turned below them. War was not over, but it was changing. Tara asked quietly, why did you do it? You could have saved yourself. Rian looked at her. Then out the window. Then said, because being human isn't about surviving. It's about choosing who you survive for. She took his hand, and this time he held it tightly. No war song played. No celebration echoed. Just 2 people, 1 human, 1 alien watching a broken galaxy start to heal. And knowing. It only took 1 moment of trust to start it.